Hey there, my name is Gavin, and a comment I keep getting on this channel is tune your piano. And I totally understand where you guys are coming from with this. My piano is tuned to A432, and that means that the note A on my piano is tuned to the frequency of 432 Hz. This is different from most electric keyboards as well as a lot of acoustic pianos in the sense that most pianos are tuned to A440. And this is causing a problem where a lot of people who are trying to play along to my tutorials or my covers or anything like that have a discrepancy between the two frequencies, making my piano sound out of tune. And I think this is a big issue, and I completely agree with a lot of you guys. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is tuning my piano to 440 and showing you guys along the way both how to tune the piano as well as just some tips and techniques I have with the piano tuning process. So I really hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be a longer video just because, tuning a piano takes a while, but that's okay. I really hope you guys enjoy. Sweet team. So obviously tuning a piano, always going to take a while. What I usually like to do is start from the middle of the piano and then work my way to the other directions. So that's just kind of the way that I've always been doing it. I don't know if it's the best or the worst way, but that's how I usually tune it. So yeah, I bought a piano tuning kit off Amazon. It just has a couple of pieces in it that we're going to be talking about right here. The first piece here is the tuning wrench. This is very important. You need to be able to, have something to tune the different knobs to different frequencies. And then the other thing we got here is our rubber stoppers here, and I'll be showing you guys how to use both of these respectively. It's not really all that complicated. I think anybody can tune a piano, but it's about having the right tools. Just big discretion here too. I'm not a professional piano tuner, and I think that's really important to mention because there's probably better things and worse things than what I'm doing, and I might not have the most perfect tune, but I will also be saving you a lot of money with a piano tuner. So, if you need something professional, hire a professional, but this is at least how I tune mine. So let's get right at it with the note A. So we're gonna hop right over here and find the A on the piano, which is like right here. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So I got my piano tuning app right here. I'm going to set. We found the A. Beautiful right there. Beautiful. And looking at it, I'm about 20 cents flat. So what I'm going to do is jam this stopper wedge here in between these two strings on the right here. So I'm just going to put this right in here. Okay. As we can see, it's pretty small, but got a little jammer right here. And now what happens is we are only playing the first string, okay, of the three. And then I will be tuning that note. And that's sounding pretty in tune to me. And we'll hear something pretty crazy here already. The difference between A432 and A440. And this is why, again, that everyone's been saying that my piano's out of tune. It's not out of tune to itself. It's out of tune relative to pianos that are tuned to A440. So that's what's been going on here. But we have that first string of the three tuned, which will be the top peg. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move it to this big open gap right here and then tune the note to itself. So I'm just going to be listening. I'm going to be listening in and hearing when. So as we can hear, the dissonance is gone and this is tuned back to itself now. Pretty cool here. Then finally we take this rubber stopper completely out and we're left with just the third knob, which is bottom one right here. So we're at the bottom now. Sounds pretty in tune to me. And then we just repeat that 240 times. You know, there's a lot of knobs. 88 keys times 3 is whatever. That's a lot. But, you know, one of our notes is tuned, and literally we're just going to do that down the entire piano. So I'm going to put this mic back and just slowly but surely tune up the rest of this. So I will check in on you guys soon. So the way I usually go about tuning pianos is by tuning the top knobs of most of the notes first and then tuning the rest later. And I feel like this is just an easier way for me to tune. It doesn't really matter in which order you're tuning the knobs, in my opinion. Maybe there is some better way to do it, but in my experience of tuning pianos, I don't think it matters all that much. So for me, this just makes it feel like I'm progressing faster. It gives me time to feel like I'm moving through things a little bit quicker and things like that. But I mean, as you guys can see by this time lapse, it's just a process that definitely just takes time. It is why it is so expensive to get a piano tuned. It's just the time aspect, and there's a lot of listening really closely to the notes you're playing and everything like that, and a lot of very fine tuning that's going on, no pun intended there. But as you can see, we're making pretty good time, pretty decent progress, and I was really happy with things, or with how things were going. So I always, like, halfway through, like to take a little break, so here's that right about here. Alright team, we're at kind of a midway point. I have A through A of 1 octave tuned. This is what it sounds like. Crunchy, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So if this is your first time tuning a piano, one big thing I'll definitely recommend, and I'll say this over and over and over again, is to take breaks. Your ear gets fatigued after hearing the same notes played over and over again for a long time, and it'll impact your tuning. So please take some breaks. Here's another one of mine right here. Back in. I gotta stop. I'm getting distracted here. So one cool thing about the piano is some of the notes that you're playing from basically the low F sharp up have 3 strings attached to each note, and I think that's really cool. A lot of people don't know that about the piano. So unlike a harp, how a harp only has 1 string per note, piano, most keys have 3 or 2 per note, which is really cool. I like to get all of the 3 strings out of the way early, just so I can feel like I got all like the hard part done first. So that's what I'm doing right here. And again, I'm just doing all the tops right now, and then I'm working on the rest later. Let's check it out. Okay, gang, all of the 3 string notes are done, so that's huge. Here's a little sound check of what we got going on right now. So from this point on, all I'm doing is tuning every other knob that I didn't get. So remember, I tuned the top one first, and then I'm getting the second and third ones afterwards, just tuning the second and third knob to the first knob, just by intonation and listening to what it sounds like. And again, it's a really long process. This entire time lapse right here took me about 1 hour and 40 minutes to all do. Of course, I was trying to be pretty diligent about tuning the entire time, not, you know, just dilly-dallying around and all that. But if it takes you longer, there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But as you can see here, I'm just going through one by one, and slowly but surely this piano is becoming more in tune. Big tips I have to give for this section: the higher notes typically have to be a little bit sharper, and the lower notes typically have to be a little bit flatter, and this is just kind of how the piano intonates. It's called stretch tuning. You can look up this entire concept if you're curious about it, but that's what I'm doing down here as well. For these lower notes, I'm usually just tuning the octaves. I'm not really using my phone tuner because the phone doesn't really pick up the frequencies too well. And yeah, so let's check it out. think that's all the notes. Oh my goodness. Let's Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we tuned the piano to 440 just for you guys. You know, I know that the tuning's been an issue in some of the videos, so 440 is just going to simplify things, and that's going to make things a lot better. I hope this video was helpful in kind of seeing like just the process of tuning a piano. For a lot of new piano players out there, you might not even know that that's how piano tuning works in general and things like that. But I don't know, hopefully this is the last time I have to do this for a while. You know, it just takes a long time, but you know, we are locked in, as I like to say. So yeah, I'll be making more covers and stuff soon. Thank you guys so much for the support as always, and I hope you're having a phenomenal day.